All right, the John Kadlecik Band here on WNCW, traveling on that hard highway that's taken them here to Spindale this morning before they head to Raleigh, and then Charlotte, and then Asheville. What would be the hardest part of traveling on the road, doing these highway tours of yours?
This is travel in general, comes with a lot of wear and tear.
Yeah, yep.
So.
Being cooped up in the rig and such.
And just like trying, making morning schedules and making evening schedules all fit together, and just sitting in cars a lot, and sitting in vans, and sitting at airports, and
showing up at live radio interviews in the morning. Whoever the heck planned those.
That's the fun part.
Yeah, cool. Good. And the best part? What's the best part of being on the road?
Oh, getting to play for people and just getting to make a living, basically making smiles,
Yeah, cool. You said this is the second tour with this entourage, right, guys? This is your second tour around, and I don't know how long the tour is going to be. Is it lasting half the year? Is it spring?
We got 3 more shows on this one.
Just 3 more. Oh, and then all right, then it's maybe break time. And when you do your these shows, we're hearing a fair amount of kind of original tunes. You bring up some of the old gems that people know as well.
I like to work some original material in, but I don't necessarily obsess on what percentage original content is. I'm really more about just sort of curating a live experience, if you will. I want to grab people by the dancing bone and shake them pretty hard, and but also try and get some get some good stories in there, some ideas churning around, some archetypal imagery stirring things up, in the whole thing. Be a little more heart than just dance candy,
Yeah, good. We need more bands bringing archetypal imagery into their stuff,
Most of them are doing it whether they knew it or not,
There you go. Yep. But it's the astute ones that can pick up on that, like you, my friend.
Oh,
shucks. So it sounds like you do a little back and forth energy exchange with the audience, and it kind of changes each night, depending on the venue.
We probably spend 30 to 40% of the show in improv, so
yeah. Yeah, cool.
No, actually, maybe it's more like 50 to 60%. I don't know.
Well,
on the night.
Depends on the night.
I mean, obviously, the Grateful Dead were so known for a lot of improv, and you guys in Dark Star Orchestra really had some amazingly sweet improvs, true to form. And what I find also equally memorable about Dark Star Orchestra shows was how you chose a certain show and you did it song for song, and then towards the end of the show, folks got to guess which it was, and some of them were right, some of them were wrong. And how did that all come about, though, of selecting the show when that did happen?
Well, it happened as like I said, it was a side project. We were just looking actually to kind of craft ourselves a curriculum, if you will. So picking a set list was a good way to find new songs to learn. And we were, at the beginning, it was just once a week thing on Tuesday night. So we'd do a show, and then over the next few days, we'd pick what show we're going to do next, and we'd do our homework while we played with our other bands over the weekend. Mm-hmm. And Monday, we'd get together and have a short rehearsal to work up the tunes that we hadn't played together yet. And then Tuesday we'd do the show.
Yep.
But after doing that for just as a house band for 3 or 4 months, we'd been in school for quite a while actually at that point. So taking it out on the road, it varied a lot. Mostly at first there was sort of a vision of trying to only do each show once, and then we repeated a show by accident, and then we repeated a show by accident, like 50 miles from the last time we played it within a year, and oh shoot, we better start keeping better track of this.
Yeah.
And then it fell to different people. I never had I had input on it, but I let other people plan the whole tours out.
Yeah.
So.
And the licks you would bring to it for Jerry's parts, you would kind of.
It would be kind of a stay in character thing, because I got a lot of influences as a guitar player, So it was a conscious choice musically to stay in character. And well, I used to let kind of my voice do a thing with it too, but I'm actually trying to dismantle that. But at the beginning of Further, I went and did a serious Vision Quest all night fire circle type event, with the intention of basically burning for life my vocal impression of Garcia, and just take what take the what I learned about presenting soulfulness, but not try and mimic the voice. I think with an instrument it's a different thing. It's a skill, but with a voice it's like a unique imprint. And I had maybe a natural inclination to do impressions as a kid, but it wasn't something I ever sought out to develop. And now I'm definitely, for the last 7-8 years now, really striving to find my own vocal character, if you will.
Yeah, that does sound particularly difficult for a musician to do, is to kind of straddle that back and forth. And I guess some folks can do it more easily than others of trying to impersonate someone else, whether like in a spoof kind of a way, parodying, or in your case, which is not that at all, obviously being real serious and intentional.
And it wasn't so much intentional as just sort of letting it was something my voice did naturally. Like whatever song, if I really love a song, I hear the singer in my head, and my voice would just kind of naturally gravitate towards that. So if I do a Lennon song, I get a British accent. If I would sing Fish songs, and it ended up kind of sounding a little bit like Trey. And for a while and further, I would do this thing where I would try and like imagine, like, how would this song sound like if David Crosby sang it?
Yeah.
And try and hear David Crosby in my head singing it. And hope that would be different. That would just scramble my voice enough that would make it kind of come out, its own way.
Yeah.
But I don't know. We'll see. I'm not sure how it's worked, but it's definitely something in progress. So
I'm sensing if you were to had the mind to write a book about this whole experience someday, some folks would probably find it pretty interesting, especially with the vision quests. And that whole chapter would be pretty cool. And then getting your guitar to have that voice, the voice of Jerry.
I think that's something all guitarists did. I mean, Jerry did it with Freddie King and Chuck Berry. It's Jimmy Page did it. With Eric Clapton did it with B.B. King, and Jimmy Page did it with Buddy Guy. And it's just part of being in a lineage with an instrument. It's a normal process with an instrument. It's just with the voice, especially with we're in this weird pop phase where it's pretty much that's all the record industry cares about. It seems is like if you have a voice that people recognize. But I mean, that kind of goes with their investment in the notion of music becoming unfashionable as quick as possible. So if you latch on to, if you get people to latch on to a unique voice, then that unique voice becomes passé, and you can get people to buy the new voice, versus like music used to connect people to their ancestors, to their children, to the land, to their neighbors. And that's something that in the process of marketing pieces of plastic to us with music encoded on it, that it's been in their interest to dismantle those thousands and thousands of years old, social connections. And I think that's kind of one of the things the Grateful Dead and the greater Bay Area community in the '60s strove to struggle against, to reclaim music for lineages as they had been in the through antiquity. Yeah. And all those folks from the Bay Area and stuff, they sure have been on our minds a lot lately. We love playing them all the time here at WNCW, but boy, 2016 has kind of gotten off to a rough start in terms of losing a couple of members of the Airplane, and then Dan Hicks of the Charlatans, and of course his Hot Licks. He passed away over the weekend, as you know. So I'm glad you're around, kind of sharing these stories of then, and that spark that happened then. A lot of us kind of sense a spark in what you and others do, and keeping the flame going. And I like your insight that you've shared here. John Kadlecik here on WNCW with his band. Ready for another tune?